What up, Search fam? Sharde here. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Tuesday. It's time for some tea. So grab your cup. If you're ready, let's get started. Hello, my dear ones. We're here again, back at it again on a cloudy day. And I mean, honestly, it looks like it's gonna rain. It's quite early though. But we've got some green tea, just regular old green tea. And we're chatting about a lesson that I have been learning. It has been ringing in my head since I finished school. So when I finished everything, got all my paperwork in May, I decided to take a trip out to Fredericksburg, which is in Central Texas, to visit my school bestie. And this is a woman that's in my cohort, and she and I have gotten super close over the time that we were pursuing our PhDs. And due to the pandemic and just her living situation changed, she and her life partner moved out to Central Texas to her parents' property. So she and I would have our weekly and twice weekly dates via FaceTime to work on dissertations, talk about spiritual stuff, nerdy religious stuff, like all the things. And so I made it my business to go visit her because we had not seen each other in over a year, almost a year and a half. And like we pretty much got each other through the PhD process. So I went to visit her, and it was a long drive, about 4.5 hours. And I almost talked myself out of going to do that. And then I wanted to, because in Central Texas, if you don't know, there are a lot of wineries there. So I wanted to go to a winery, find a flower field, and go live my best free black girl life. And I attempted to talk myself out of both of these things. And so while I did get on my way to see her, I almost talked myself out of picking a winery and going. And I frequently do this thing where there's something that I want to do. It's just like an instinct, like this is what I want to do, and I'll be really excited about it up until the day before, and I'll talk myself out of doing that thing. I'll talk myself out of good things, and just feeling like, well, maybe I don't need to do it for whatever reason. And sometimes there's not even a good reason. I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't, right? And so the lesson here is learning how to say yes to myself. And so I talked myself into going to this winery by myself, and I had a fantastic time. Like, I walked around, there were wildflowers. I almost bought a plant, because if y'all don't know, like, she's plant mama, and so she's obsessed. So I just have the sense that I'm not the only one who does this, where we feel for some reason that we might be undeserving of ease, of blessings, of just good things for ourselves, and that to offer ourselves those things is to transgress or to just totally fly in the face of what we actually deserve, which is crazy, right? And I think to heal our relationships with ourselves, to be able to accept more good things in our lives, we have to sort of get over ourselves, okay? In the sense that we have to not get in the way of our own happiness, or get in the way of the possibility of our own happiness. And it's doing little things for yourself. It's not being afraid to do things for yourself or by yourself. I think a lot of times we think that if we have good things, that many times it should come from without, like somebody else should take us on a date, somebody else should want to spend time with us, somebody else should buy us gifts. And we don't always do that for ourselves. I know I don't. It takes a lot for me to be okay with purchasing things for myself. Even though I like going places by myself, I will talk myself out of doing it. And so I wondered what it would mean to say yes more to the things that, Sharday wants on the inside, and how that looks. I mean, this is not quite, Shonda Rhimes' Year of Yes, which is a great book about, saying yes to yourself and not talking yourself out of things. But it is making more room for goodness, making more room for the possibility of good surprises and exciting things. And knowing that there are a lot of things in life that try to tear us down. We don't have to look far. Honestly, we don't need to look past our own nose to know that there are hardships ahead of us. There are hardships that are present, and that it's okay at any turn to decide that you want a little bit of goodness, a little bit of whimsy, a little bit of extra care for yourself. And that in saying yes to yourself, you make room for more and more excellence, more and more things to make you smile. And this is not, me suggesting that you should say yes all the time, because we definitely want to be discerning about what we say yes to. But if it's going to get yourself some ice cream, go do that, as long as it's not going to be detrimental to your well-being. And knowing what things, like for me, I'm not a big drinker, but if I want to try out some wines, there's nothing wrong with that. So I did. I went, I walked around, I sat by myself. I engaged one of the bartenders who was doing the wine tasting for me, and it was a fantastic time. And then I went to my friends, and I spent some really, really valuable time by myself, in silence. Like, there's nothing like being out in the country where there's not the constant bustle of the city. And I didn't realize how loud it was until I was out there where I could hear nothing. And that was really, really necessary for me, to get somewhere where I could be clear for a few days and to just wander and to enjoy, nerdy chats with my friend over tea, because she's a tea drinker too. So we had some beautiful chai and, snacks, and made breakfast, and just enjoyed the fact that we had not seen each other in such a long time, but also that we had overcome a very large obstacle that was set in front of us. And it was just a beautiful moment that I was ready to deprive myself of, because I guess maybe fear, maybe feeling undeserving. There's so many things. But if we know that God conspires to our good, the universe, however you construe it, conspires for our greatest good, and something within us moves us toward a thing that will give us some additional moments of joy, happiness, peace, calm, then we should totally say yes to that every time. Because each and every one of us deserves moments that remind us that we are here. And it's easy to lose sight of the experience of presence. So I'm still working on this whole saying yes to myself more, but we'll get there. And I think putting it out here in this way makes me even more adamant about putting my pedal to the metal and not shying away from it, because you guys keep me accountable. Whether you know it or not, you keep me accountable. So say yes to yourself sometime this week. Do something for your own good. Even if it's just like sitting outside and absorbing some sunlight by yourself for 10 minutes. I think that'll work. As always, my loves, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope joy shines down on you. And I pray that whatever peace you need finds you. Love you all. Tell somebody about the channel. Hit the like button. Subscribe. The things. And I'll see you next week. Bye.